Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a fresh look at what it truly means to be wealthy,
Hmm.
and maybe challenging some common ideas you might have.
Yeah, definitely challenging the stereotypes.
Our source for this is a deep dive into The Millionaire Next Door. Now, this book it first came out, what, 1996?
That's right, 96, a real classic.
But its ideas seem, well, surprisingly relevant even now.
Oh, absolutely.
So our mission today is to kind of unpack the truths about who the really wealthy people are in America, how they actually build their fortunes. It's all based on research that, frankly, busts a lot of myths.
hmm
So just for a second, maybe picture this. When you think millionaire, what image pops into your head? Keep that in mind as we go.
Yeah, that's a great question to start with. Because this deep dive, it's kind of a shortcut, a shortcut to understanding these core wealth building ideas that often get missed.
Okay.
We're aiming to look at some surprising facts and maybe give you some actionable insights, things you can maybe think about starting today.
Okay, let's unpack this then. The review says, right off the bat, this book challenges stereotypes. So, what's the big idea, the main surprise?
Well, the central thing, and it really is kind of mind-blowing for some people, is that most millionaires in the U.S., they're pretty ordinary folks, living pretty normal lives.
Not the lifestyles of the rich and famous, then.
Not usually, no. They're generally not the flashy spenders with the fancy cars and designer labels. It's more about quietly building wealth by consistently living below their means, saving really diligently, and investing wisely over the long haul.
So, like the opposite of the Instagram millionaire image.
Exactly. Think about maybe your neighbor, the one with the okay car, the regular house. They could be, quietly building a fortune.
Because they're not spending it all.
Right. Every dollar they don't spend on showing off is a dollar they can invest in their future. So the key idea, wealth isn't really about what you show. It's about what you grow.
That's really interesting. It sounds almost like self-wealth. So, digging into these takeaways, the book talks about hidden wealth. Why is it hidden? Why invisible?
Well, it's invisible precisely because these millionaires often don't look rich. They've made a conscious choice, really, to avoid what the book calls conspicuous consumption.
Okay, so not buying things just to impress people.
Exactly. Their main goal isn't status symbols, it's achieving, and just as importantly, maintaining genuine financial independence, freedom.
So they're not buying the McMansion or the Lambo to show they've made it?
No, they're essentially buying freedom,
Yeah.
peace of mind, options.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. How critical is frugality? Being frugal, it seems almost, I don't know, countercultural today.
Oh, it's absolutely foundational, crucial. The book really hammers this home.
How so?
It details how these wealth builders, they tend to budget very carefully, they live modestly, and the key bit is they consistently spend less than they earn.
Right. Seems simple, but maybe not easy.
It's not about being cheap or depriving yourself necessarily. It's more about being intentional with spending and saving, almost like running your household finances like a well-run business.
Okay, so an actionable insight there.
Yeah, maybe try this. Just for a week, track your status spending. Ask yourself, am I buying this to impress someone, or does it genuinely improve my life? Just that awareness, that's step one towards living below your means.
That makes sense. Now, something else the book highlights is the difference between income and wealth. It's easy to mix those up, right? Someone earning a ton must be wealthy.
Yeah, that's a huge misconception.
Why isn't a high income always the same as being wealthy?
Well, the core principle here, and it's fascinating, is simply income does not equal wealth.
Right.
You see lots of high earners, doctors, lawyers, executives, whatever, making great money, right? But they often spend just as much, or maybe even more.
Lifestyle inflation.
Exactly. They get caught in that trap. The book makes it super clear. Wealth is about your net worth. Simply what you own, investments, property, cash minus what you owe. Mortgages, loans, credit card debt, all that stuff.
Right.
So picture two people. You've got Sarah, maybe she's a lawyer, makes $300K a year, big house, 2 fancy car payments, expensive vacations, the whole deal.
Okay.
Then there's Mark. Maybe he owns a small business, makes $90 a day, drives a used car, lives in a modest home, but crucially, he invests 30% of his income consistently.
I see where this is going.
Who do you think has a higher net worth after, say, 10 years? It's probably Mark, right? That's the power of understanding this difference. It's not what you make, it's what you keep.
That really puts it in perspective. I was also surprised reading the review about how common self-employment and entrepreneurship are among these millionaires.
Very common.
What kinds of businesses are we talking about? Because my mind immediately goes to, like, tech billionaires, but that's not quite it, is it?
No, you're right. It's usually not the flashy tech startups or the glamorous industries you see in the headlines.
So what then?
The review points out that many millionaires own small, often, frankly, unglamorous as businesses.
Like what?
Think plumbing companies, pest control services, maybe welding shops, small manufacturing firms, things like that.
Okay, stuff that's needed but not necessarily sexy.
Exactly. Businesses that might not make the news, but they provide steady income, often have manageable overheads, and offer a very direct path to building significant wealth without needing the spotlight.
So forget Shark Tank. Maybe think about the local plumber.
Kind of, yeah. It's like this quiet superpower building wealth steadily behind the scenes.
That's a great insight.
Hey.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. What about passing this on, the intergenerational aspect? What does the book say about teaching kids financial habits?
Yeah, this is a really critical point in the book. It stresses how these millionaires actively teach their kids financial responsibility, often with a bit of tough love.
Tough love. How so?
Well, it warns against something it calls economic outpatient care.
Economic outpatient care. What's that?
It's basically financially propping up your adult children when they should be standing on their own feet.
Like paying their rent indefinitely. Oh. Or bailing them out of debt.
Exactly. Or, buying them expensive cars or things they haven't earned themselves. The research highlighted in the book suggests this kind of care actually harms rather than helps a child's ability to become financially independent and build their own wealth.
So the goal isn't just to give them money, but to teach them how to manage it.
Precisely. The parents who successfully build wealth seem to value their children's financial self-sufficiency much more than just providing short-term comfort or material things.
Okay, so if we pull all these threads together, the frugality, the focus on net worth, the types of businesses, teaching the kids.
Yeah.
What does this tell us about how we should define rich? It feels like a totally different picture.
It really is a mindset shift. If you connect it all, the big picture is that true wealth isn't really about owning the luxury car or the designer. Watch those things often depreciate anyway. It's more about freedom from financial worry. It's having the resources, the cushion to live life on your own terms, not being forced into decisions by debt or the need to keep up appearances.
So wealth equals freedom.
In a very real sense, yes. Personal freedom, security, having options in life, that's the real prize.
Now, this book, as we said, came out in '96. That's, wow, quite a while ago in terms of the economy and investing. But it clearly still resonates. What are its biggest strengths? Why is it still relevant?
Well, its strengths are pretty significant, I think. First, there's the research itself. It was eye-opening back then, based on actual data, surveys, interviews, really debunking those common myths with facts.
Okay, the data-driven aspect.
Yeah. Second, the principles themselves are just timeless. Live below your means, save consistently, invest wisely, avoid that lifestyle inflation trap.
Those things don't really go out of style.
Exactly. They're relevant no matter what the stock market's doing or what the current fads are. And finally, I think its biggest strength is its power to inspire a practical mindset shift. It really encourages you to think differently, prioritize financial independence over just looking successful.
Okay, those are strong points. But the review also mentions some criticisms, right? No book is perfect. What are the potential weaknesses someone should be aware of?
That's fair. Yeah, there are a few things. Obviously, some of the specific statistics and references, they reflect the 1990s economy. So they might feel a little dated in places.
Understandable.
Also, some people find it a bit repetitive. The book really does hammer home its main points quite forcefully again and again, which, helps the message stick, but some might find it drags a bit.
Okay, anything else?
And the other main thing is that it's not really a how-to investment guide. It won't give you specific stock picks or detailed asset allocation strategies.
It's more about the why and the what than the how.
Exactly. It's much more focused on the mindset, the habits, the psychology of wealth building rather than the nitty-gritty investment mechanics.
Got it. So putting it all together, strengths and weaknesses, who should read this book? Or at least, take these ideas we're discussing to heart?
Honestly, I think it's valuable for almost anyone interested in personal finance or building wealth, or even just someone feeling trapped by consumer culture.
Right.
But maybe especially valuable for, say, young professionals just starting out, people looking to build long-term financial security.
Makes sense.
And also families who want to think about how to instill good financial habits in the next generation. It's a really solid starting point for rethinking your whole whole financial journey.
So let's bring it back to you, our listener. Why is this deep dive into a book from the 90s actually relevant for you today? What's the big takeaway now?
Well, because even though it's not brand new, the core lessons are just incredibly potent still, especially today, I think.
Why especially today?
Because it offers a path to achieving financial freedom without getting sucked onto that endless consumer treadmill. It really pushes you to rethink what being rich actually means. Is it the stuff? Or is it the security, the independence?
It's about the foundation, not the facade.
Beautifully put, yes. It's about building a life of financial security on your own terms, not someone else's.
Okay, so wrapping up, the final verdict from the review seems to be, The Millionaire Next Door, it's not your step-by-step guide to picking stocks.
Nope.
But it is a really powerful reminder that wealth generally comes from discipline, from modesty, and from consistency over time.
Absolutely. And maybe that leaves us with a final thought, a question for you, the listener, to chew on.
Okay.
If true wealth isn't really about what you spend, but more about what you manage to keep and how you choose to live, what's one small, maybe even unglamorous change you could make starting today? Something to begin building your own